Beneath the waves, hidden from our sight, lies a world of breathtaking and mysterious beauty. With vibrant colours, diverse shapes and complex structures, coral reefs have long captivated the hearts and minds of people worldwide. But behind their striking appearance is a complex ecosystem filled with amazing creatures and hidden secrets waiting to be discovered. This video takes you into the secret life of coral reefs, where a kaleidoscope of marine life thrives in symbiotic harmony. Coral reefs are powerful and vibrant underwater ecosystems. They are composed of colonies of tiny living animals called polyps. These polyps create a hard, protective skeleton of calcium carbonate. Over thousands of years, these skeletons accumulate, forming the massive coral reef structures. These reefs serve as a habitat for an incredible diversity of marine species, earning them the nickname the rainforests of the sea. While coral reefs are largely associated with the warm, clear waters of tropical and subtropical seas, their distribution is actually much broader. They span a vast geographical range, stretching from the eastern coasts of Brazil and Africa to the western coasts of Central America and Australia. They are also found in the Indian Ocean, surrounding islands like the Maldives and Seychelles, and in the Pacific Ocean, around areas like Micronesia and Polynesia. This wide distribution is due to the abundance of different types of coral reefs. Coral reefs are divided into three main types: fringing reefs, barrier reefs, and atolls. Fringing reefs are the most common type, growing near the coastlines of islands and continents. They extend out to sea like a fringe, which is the origin of their name. These reefs are separated from the shore by narrow, shallow lagoons. They often form on rocky shores where fast-growing coral species can anchor and thrive. Barrier reefs run parallel to the coastline, but are separated by deeper, wider lagoons. They are named for their ability to block ocean waves, creating a calm and protected area of water toward the shore. The Great Barrier Reef in Australia is the most famous example, stretching for more than 2,300 kilometres. Atolls are typically circular or oval-shaped and often have a central lagoon. Atolls are formed when islands surrounded by fringing reefs sink into the sea, or when the sea level rises around them. The coral continues to grow upward from the original fringing reef, maintaining its relative position to the sea surface. The Maldives is one of the atolls in the Indian Ocean and is one of the largest and most spectacular atoll formations in the world. Each of these reef types has unique characteristics and hosts distinct marine life, contributing to the rich diversity of coral reef ecosystems worldwide. The formation of coral reefs is a slow and fascinating process that begins with a single polyp. A coral polyp is a tiny, soft-bodied organism related to sea anemones and jellyfish. When a polyp attaches to a rock on the seabed and begins to divide, or when a group of polyps starts to work together, a colony is born. As these polyps multiply, they form an expanding colony. The polyps secrete a hard, protective limestone skeleton around their bodies, which forms the structure of the reef. Over time, months or even centuries, these limestone skeletons accumulate and fuse together, forming the complex, sturdy structures we call coral reefs. The overall process is slow, with growth rates of only about 1 to 3 centimetres per year. However, some coral species can grow much faster under optimal conditions. Essentially, coral colonies can grow in two ways: through asexual reproduction or sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction occurs when new polyps bud off from a parent polyp to form a new colony, thereby expanding the existing one. This type of reproduction creates genetically identical corals. Corals can also grow asexually through fragmentation, where pieces of the coral break off and settle in a new area, forming a new colony. On the other hand, sexual reproduction occurs once a year in an event known as coral spawning. During this event, corals release eggs and sperm into the water simultaneously. The eggs and sperm combine to form larvae that float on ocean currents for days or even weeks. Eventually, these larvae settle on a hard surface and develop into new coral polyps, marking the birth of a new coral colony. This method of reproduction promotes genetic diversity within the coral population, enhancing its ability to adapt to changing environmental conditions. The sight of coral spawning is one of the most magical and inspiring events. Life within coral reefs is an explosion of colour, diversity and complexity. Although coral reefs cover less than 1% of the ocean floor, these underwater cities are incredibly bustling with a wealth of activity. An estimated 25% of all marine species call coral reefs home. Each organism in this intricate web of life plays a crucial role, contributing to the overall health and function of the reef. The coral colonies themselves act as nature's architects. They build intricate structures that provide shelter for countless species. Fish of all shapes, sizes and colours dart among the coral branches, some feeding on algae, others on smaller organisms. The nooks and crannies of the reef are home to many smaller creatures. Small crustaceans, mollusks and worms live on the reef floor, while larger creatures like sea turtles, sharks and rays glide through the waters above. Even after nightfall, the reef remains alive with activity. Nocturnal creatures like lobsters and eels emerge from their daytime hiding places to hunt, while bioluminescent organisms add a magical glow to the underwater landscape. Coral reefs are especially known for their diversity of fish, hosting countless different species, each with unique adaptations suited for life on the reef. Clownfish, butterflyfish, angelfish and parrotfish are just a few examples of the vibrant fish that inhabit this ecosystem. These fish play various roles, including herbivores, carnivores and cleaners. For example, parrotfish are crucial for controlling algae growth on the reef and contribute to sand production through their feeding habits. Coral reefs are also home to a vast array of invertebrates, including sea anemones, sea urchins, crustaceans and mollusks. These creatures, though often overlooked, play essential roles in maintaining the health and balance of the reef. For instance, sea urchins control algae growth, while crustaceans like shrimp and crabs contribute to the reef's cleanup crew, scavenging for debris and dead organisms. Invertebrates also provide a vital food source for other reef inhabitants, ensuring the reef's natural food chain remains intact. On a larger scale, coral reefs attract many species of sea turtles that take advantage of the resources here. Similarly, various species of sharks and rays, known as the ocean's apex predators, are drawn to these reefs, helping to maintain the ecosystem's balance by regulating prey populations. One of the most fascinating aspects of reef life is the myriad of symbiotic relationships that coexist. Coral reefs could not thrive without these cooperative partnerships, where organisms rely on each other for survival. For example, the relationship between coral and zooxanthellae algae is critical for the reef's existence. These tiny photosynthetic organisms live within the coral's tissues, giving the coral its vibrant colours. This is a mutually beneficial relationship. The coral provides the algae with a safe environment and the compounds needed for photosynthesis. In return, the zooxanthellae provide oxygen to the coral and help remove waste. Most importantly, they supply the coral with the organic products of photosynthesis, which are used to synthesize proteins and calcium carbonate, the main component for building the coral skeleton. This harmonious relationship allows coral to grow and reproduce in nutrient-poor waters. Despite their great beauty and biodiversity, coral reefs are not immune to disease. A number of environmental stresses, such as pollution, climate change, and overfishing, can make coral reefs susceptible to diseases like white band disease and black band disease. These diseases can have devastating impacts on coral populations and the ecosystems they support. Coral bleaching is another serious condition. It is not a disease itself, but a stress response to adverse environmental conditions, such as rising seawater temperatures. It also occurs when the symbiotic relationship between corals and their algae is disrupted, causing the coral to expel the algae and turn white, a state known as bleaching. Without the essential nutrients provided by the zooxanthellae algae, bleached coral becomes weakened and more susceptible to disease. One of the most significant threats to coral reefs is climate change, which leads to warmer ocean temperatures and ocean acidification. Warmer ocean temperatures can also trigger coral bleaching. Ocean acidification, caused by higher levels of carbon dioxide, makes it difficult for corals to build their calcium carbonate skeletons, inhibiting their growth and making them more vulnerable. Another major threat to coral reefs is pollution. This comes in many forms, from land-based sources like agricultural runoff and untreated sewage, to marine-based sources like oil spills and plastic debris. These pollutants can harm or kill coral directly or lead to disease outbreaks. Overfishing and destructive fishing practices such as cyanide or dynamite fishing also pose a significant threat to coral reefs by disrupting the ecosystem's balance and destroying the reef's physical structure. Finally, coastal development and tourism-related damage can negatively impact coral reefs. Construction activities can lead to increased sedimentation, which can smother coral and block sunlight. Tourism-related activities like snorkeling and scuba diving can cause physical damage to coral reefs or introduce pathogens into their populations. The cumulative impact of these threats has led to a significant decline in coral reefs globally, highlighting the urgent need for global conservation measures. Coral reefs are not just vibrant and diverse ecosystems, they also play a crucial role in the Earth's carbon cycle through a process called calcification. Corals absorb large amounts of carbon dioxide from the surrounding water and convert it into calcium carbonate, which forms their hard skeletons. This process helps reduce the increasing amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, which is one of the powerful drivers of climate change. The ability of coral reefs to sequester carbon dioxide is remarkable, with estimates suggesting they can capture and store up to 1.2 billion tonnes of CO2 per year. This figure is equivalent to the emissions from 200 million cars. Therefore, protecting coral reefs is not only about preserving these incredible ecosystems, but also about mitigating the impacts of climate change. In addition to their role in the carbon cycle, coral reefs also act as natural barriers, protecting coastal communities from the devastation of storms and erosion. The complex structure of coral reefs helps dissipate wave energy, reducing the impact of storm surges and preventing coastal erosion. By acting as a buffer zone, coral reefs can significantly reduce damage from hurricanes, cyclones, and tsunamis, protecting both human lives and infrastructure. Furthermore, coral reefs provide immense economic benefits to local communities and nations. They are major tourist destinations, attracting visitors from all over the world to explore the beauty of this underwater ecosystem. Additionally, coral reefs support thriving fisheries, providing a source of nutrition and livelihood for millions of people. These diverse ecosystems serve as nurseries and habitats for many fish species, providing income for local fishermen and ensuring a sustainable supply of seafood. Conservation and restoration efforts for coral reefs are being undertaken at both local and global scales. They include direct interventions like active coral restoration, where healthy coral fragments are grown in nurseries and then transplanted back onto degraded reefs. Determined efforts are also being made to address the root causes of coral reef degradation. This involves implementing policies to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, manage coastal development, and regulate fishing practices. Marine Protected Areas (MPAs) have been established in many regions to protect coral reef habitats from destructive human activities. Scientists are studying reef resilience and exploring ways to breed supercorals that are more resistant to the harsh conditions brought on by climate change. They are also studying the economic and social benefits of coral reefs to help communicate their value and the importance of their conservation to a wider audience. On an individual level, we can contribute to coral reef conservation by reducing our carbon footprint. As we peel back the deep layers of the ocean, the true wonders of coral reefs become clearer. They are not just a static background in the vast sea. This place is a bustling hub of marine organisms, a vibrant system of biodiversity, and a testament to the complex and interconnected nature of life beneath the waves.